Today we're going to be integrating trig functions. We're going to be integrating trig functions. When I'm talking about trig functions, I'm talking about functions like sine, cos, tan, then cot, sec, and then something like cosec x, those things like that, né? So before we start to integrate those functions, what we must have deep understanding of the derivatives. Remember, in the past video I taught you the derivatives of trig functions and also the inverse trig functions, if I'm not mistaken. So I told you that the derivative d over du of sine u, which means I'm deriving with respect to u. The derivative of sine, I told you that the derivative of sine is what? Derivative of sine is cos u multiplied by u prime. Understand? And then I said that the derivative of what? The derivative of cos u equal to what? Equal to, since, well, if you can see, this thing start with letter C. So any trig function that start with C is a derivative. It will be a negative. Then the derivative, it will be negative sine u multiplied by u prime. If ever the function start with a negative. Understand? So, and then I say that the derivative of d over du of what? Of tan u. The derivative of tan u, I said, is what? Is sec squared u multiplied by u prime. Ne? Then the derivative d over du of cot u equal to what? Equal to, since, well, it starts with letter C, is going to be negative. Negative what? Is going to be cosec squared u multiplied by u prime. Then so now let's go to the derivative of sec u. I want to show you a grid pattern here, and also the derivative d over du of cosec u. You can still write cosec like this, cosec u equal to, I want to show you a pattern. If you can check, tan, ne? Tan is a member of sec. Do you get me? And then cot is a member of cosec. I think you get me by now. Tan u is a member of what? Is a member of sec. Ne? And then cot is a member of what? Of cosec u. Ne? So the derivative of sec u is going to be what? Is going to be sec u by itself multiplied by its member. What is the member of sec u? The member of sec u is tan u, meaning that it will be sec u then tan u. That is the derivative of what? Of sec u. Ne? These two are special. Then let's go to cosec u. Cosec u, derivative of cosec u is going to be cosec u by itself. Cosec u by itself multiplied by its member. What is the member of cosec u? The member of cosec u is what? Is cot u. So it's going to be what? Cot u. Remember, this thing started with letter C, meaning it's going to be negative. That's how you what? That's how you derive functions, trig functions. Ne? So now let's talk about integration. Let's talk about integration. So since, well, from here to here we derived, understand, we derived, Meaning, if we want to move from here to here, we're going to do what? We're going to do the inverse of what we did. So that thing tells you what? That thing will tells you that what? The integral of what? The integral of cos u. Here we said with respect to u, meaning here we are going to say what? With respect to which is du is going to be what? We are reversing here, meaning the integral of cosec u is going to be what? Sine u. Understand? Meaning the integral of cosec u is going to be sine u. Then you say plus c. Instead of saying, remember when you are driving, we are multiplying by what? We are multiplying by u prime. So instead of multiplying by u prime, we are going to divide by u prime like this. So let's go to sine u. Ne? So the integral of what? The integral of sine u. If you can check, sine u has a negative there. Ne? Sine u has a what? Sine u has a negative. Meaning, before I start deriving, just put the negative there. You just divide by it. You just divide by the negative. You divide by the negative. Then meaning your answer is going to be, we have du. Your answer is going to be negative. Don't exclude that negative. Then you say in brackets. Ne? Then when you check there, what is the derivative of sine u? The derivative of sine u is going to be what? Is going to be cos u over u prime plus c. Or you can just say the integral of negative sine u du equal to cos u over u prime plus c. Just like that. Ne? Just like that. So it means whenever you are in a situation whereby you don't have a negative, you have to manipulate. I will show you how to manipulate. So even here, this thing means that the integral of sec squared u du equal to what? Is going to be tan u over u prime plus c. Here meaning that the integral of positive cosec squared u du is going to be what? Is going to be cot u. Remember, it was a what? It was a negative, meaning here we're going to have a negative what? Negative cot u over u prime. Do you understand? I think now it's gettable, ne? So let's go to the integral of sec u. I forgot to say u prime here. U prime here. I forgot that. Still the same procedure. So meaning that the integral of sec u multiplied by tan u du is going to be equal to what? Is going to be equal to sec u over u prime plus c. So even here, the integral of what? The integral of cosec u multiplied by cot u du is going to be equal to what? Since already it had a negative here, is going to be negative what? Cosec u over what? Over u prime plus c. Ne? So now let's do quick examples. So let's say you have a function like this. They ask you to integrate what? They ask you to integrate sine 7x dx. You know the formula says what? The formula says the integral of sine u du is equal to what? Is equals to negative cos u over u prime plus c. Meaning that here our answer is going to be what? The integral of sine 7x is going to be negative cos, what is the u? The u is 7x. Then divide by what? Divide by u prime. What is u prime? Derivative of 7x is what? Is 7. Then we say plus c, meaning your answer is negative 1 over 7 cos 7x plus c. Ne? Or what can you do? You can just use u substitution. Some people use u substitution. Still correct. Then let's say they say to you, what is the what? What is the derivative of cos negative 3 theta d theta? You know the formula says the integral of cos u du equal to sine u over u prime plus c. So meaning that here our answer is going to be what? Sine, what is u? U is negative 3 theta over u prime. What is the derivative of negative 3 theta with respect to theta? Is negative 3. Then we say plus c. Our answer is going to be negative 1 over 3 sine negative 3 theta plus c. Understand? So let's say they say to you, what is the integral of what? What is the integral of sine x dx? So the integral of sine x dx is going to be negative cos x. Then we divide by what? The derivative of x, which is 1. Then we say plus c, meaning our answer is negative cos x plus c. Just like that. So if they say to me, what is the integral of sec squared 3x plus 4 dx, we know that what? We know that the derivative d over du of tan u is equal to sec squared u. Then meaning the integral of sec squared u du equal to what? Equal to tan u over u prime plus c. Ne? So meaning here, what is our u? Our u is 3x. So we're going to have what? Tan 3x plus 4 divided by u prime. What is our u prime? Our u prime is the derivative of this function, which is derivative of 3x plus 4 is 3, you say, plus c. That's how you integrate things like that. Ne? So now let's try and check some questions. I hope now you are used to the procedure and there is this question you are asking yourself. So guys, if you can check here, we said that the integral of this thing is what? Is this thing. That does not mean that the integral of this guy is this guy. No, it is wrong. Do you hear me? The integral of this guy is what? Is this guy. That does not mean that the integral of sec u equal to this. No, it's wrong. There is a formula. There is how we integrate that thing. Even here, the integral of this thing is this. That does not mean that the integral of this one is this one. Understand? Let's come here. What is the integral of this thing? The integral of this thing is this thing. That does not mean that the integral of this thing is this thing. I will show you how to integrate this thing. Even here, the integral of negative sine u is what? Is positive cos u. That does not mean that the integral of cos u equal to negative sine u. No, it is wrong. Because the integral of cos u is what? Is positive sine u, not negative sine u. That's the derivative. Even here, the integral of cos u is what? Is sine u. That does not mean that the integral of sine u is cos u. No, the integral of sine u is what? Is negative cos u. That's how it is. Ne? So in the next video, we will be doing those kind of questions.